This time on Flannery's porch, Elizabeth struggles to find enough money to keep the farm going.
The magnitude of what we're responsible for here, it's a huge disproportion to our resources. Yeah, we're on the brink of wild success or closure.
Flying to the clear blue skies, an illusion. And your stories keep marching on.
The first time you drive through the gates of Andalusia, you might think the farm has it all together. But there are some parts of this historic site that are less than pristine.
It's a nail house. It was a garage with interior rooms. When I came in the fall of 2013, it was already collapsed. And people wait in there and they try to get something of Flannery's, and it's just dangerous.
People are always asking about the appearance of the farm. Some people seem to be disappointed that everything isn't just right. They even got an email asking what was going on with the farm, why it looks the way that it does, why there weren't any peacocks, and if the place is going to make it.
Elizabeth's response is, yes, the condition of the interior can be alarming, but we are fortunate that it isn't falling down as some historic structures are at the farm. In January, our peacock manly pointer died to exposure of cold. One of the remaining peahens was killed by a predator. The Flannery O'Connor Andalusia Foundation is a small, struggling nonprofit. We don't have any money to speak of. We have no endowment, and we have to raise money for our operating funds every year. So in a way, yeah, we are in financial distress.
But the fight isn't over. Elizabeth is constantly battling to bring the farm back to its prime.
We've only got 4 or 5 more days left in our fiscal year, and we haven't met our annual appeal goal for this year. We're at 40%.
We're, in the final throes of our annual appeal, so September 30th is the end of our fiscal year. So tomorrow we're going to send out an email blast to our database and then cross-post on social media, trying to get as much donations in at the final hour as possible.
Even though Elizabeth and April aren't always sure where the next dollar is coming from, and they're really focused on fixing up the nail house, they're always trying to come up with new ways to bring in money, attract more visitors, and even give the farm a little facelift in the future.
We thought there might be a bobcat living down in there, so careful. But it does have 8 stables, so after we deal with this erosion issue and rebuild it, I guess is a better way to put it, then it can be used for horses again. I'm interested in bringing back horseback riding, because the family did a lot of horseback riding out here. So this, just imagine, it's going to be our cafe. Inside we'll have the food service where it's real simple. Everything's pre-made, it's just there. So this is just a little respite spot. What museum doesn't have a place for people to sit down and have a refreshment? The rebuild of the nail house, I see that as a necessary component of restoring the main house. Wonderful water tower, that was painted 10 years ago. Well, it needs to be painted again. Yeah, these are walnuts. Black walnuts. We'd like to make ink out of them. Isn't that cool? It's pretty easy to make. We'd like to do it and sell them in the shop. We are full of ideas, but implementing them is another thing.
Progress is definitely being made. There's now a deck marking where the nail house used to be, but it'll have to stay that way for now because they haven't found the money to rebuild it just yet. Rebuilding anything at Andalusia takes a little more effort than you might expect. Everything has to be historically accurate. Unlike the nail house, the farm's equipment shed had better luck. Earlier in the year, a big storm swept through Georgia, blew down a tree, and demolished it. Another expensive project. But fortunately, the money needed to fix the shed practically walked through the door.
I was on the porch and a woman just came in the front door and came right up to me and said, "Are you Elizabeth?" And I said, "Yes." And she said, "Well, can I talk to you?" And she told me her name, and so we sat on the front porch and she just started asking me questions about what we were doing at Andalusia. And she said, "Well, I'd like to give you some money." And I said, "Okay, great." Well, it turns out she wanted to give us $30,000. I was a little stunned. We've leveraged that money, being able to match the grant for the part 1 of the equipment shed. We were able to open the barn to the visitors. It was pretty significant.
It sure seems like they have a long way to go in saving the farm. But like they always say, baby steps.
Preservation's a journey, it's not a destination.
It is better to be young in your failures than old in your successes. Flannery O'Connor.